Welcome back again. Constantine the Philosopher here from beautiful Philippines. And beautiful Luna today. Company, of course. Today I was walking my dog earlier, my other dog. And I was thinking I want to talk about interesting subject. Maybe of you will be maybe familiar. That most people are weak, lazy, and stupid, pretty much. Everywhere I've been, every country, unfortunately, there's no lack of any of those. And I noticed, like if you look at the world, and you always wonder, like, how come only 1%, have the power, or a few people, get where they want in life, or get things done. It's pretty much because of this. Three things: weakness again, laziness, and most of all, stupidity. When I mean stupid, it's nothing to offend, It comes from the word, it comes from the word. I always say to people, idiot, comes from the Greek, which means the same, Everybody, follows, the sheep, they follow. One guy says something, everybody, people believe it, that's it. It's kind of, people believe their religion, Boom. You're born X, you become X, most likely. Same, with your beliefs, politically, your team, soccer game, whatever. It's always, monkey see, monkey does, or whatever, other way around. Monkey does, monkey see. That's how it works in this world. And that's why you see nowadays, all this insanity. Throughout history, this is pretty much it, I wrote a bunch of notes, ideas come to my head. It didn't take much to think of this subject. Yeah. People want the easy way out. So let's start from the weak, for example. Let's start from the weak. What I mean, every day, I read somewhere, if you become 1% better, well, guess what? After a year, you're 300% better. 3 times better than now. Probably more. 1% a day, a little change, a little better diet, a little reading, a little, research, a little questioning, a little involvement, a little, pick up the trash, help somebody, a little bit, One phone call, nope, no. Most people won't do that. Hello. Oh, sorry guys, the dog is pulling. Very bad. So it's kind of like, the opposite of stoicism, and that's why people nowadays, and also is a childlike behavior, which comes down to the second, lazy. People behave like children, irresponsible, undisciplined, chaotic, go by the feeling, not facts, because it's easy to go, I feel, sad, I feel the victim. Life is hard. Yes, life is hard. It has always been hard. Other people used to go to war, see their bodies die, explode in half. For all these freedoms we have. Yes, life is very hard. It's unfair too, it's unjust, yes. But look how beautiful. Look. There's a beauty in it, and you can take advantage, you can do some research, do some work, son. This is given to you, do some work. Thank God, or whoever, the creator, whatever you believe. Don't be a foolish. Don't be the same, Open a book, read, research, ask. With the internet, we have the biggest encyclopedia ever in history. All the books of everything, pretty much. 9% of the information ever made. One click. What are you doing playing video games all day? What is wrong with you? Are you like a 5-year-old? Are you going to grow up, son? Take your camera, make a video like this, express your thoughts, or ask people. There's a lot of smart people out there who, a lot of books. If you can't find smart people, they say around, everybody's not very bright, unfortunately, the majority is not. That's why they have books. That's why they have the internet. Don't even buy a book. Download. Watch a YouTube video, listen to podcasts, whatever. Most books are free. Half the books are free, pretty much, from the major philosophers or scientists. What is wrong? It's really mind-blowing, But it all comes down from laziness. So the weakness comes from laziness. Yes, today life is harder, especially new generation has it very hard. But guess what? The tools, AI are there. You can make so much money. I wish, I was like 15, have nothing to do all day, and just experiment with this. I mean, I do experiment hours a day on AI, and I like to learn, the latest technology, as I always do, to research. But I wish I had like, 10 hours more per day. I'll be, I mean, you can make easy money online. There's so many opportunities. It's insane. But no, people are like, no, it's tough racket, like, life is hard. Yes, it is hard. Yeah. And it's hard, to find yourself. So work on that. Research, question, get better, eat better, so you can, sleep better, adjust your friends. It's really basic common sense. I mean, it's nothing. I don't have to go like 100 push-ups. Do 2 push-ups. Do, start slow. 1 push-up. First day 1, second day 2. Little by little, Really not easy. She's going crazy with the dogs here. Anyway, so let's go to the lazy part. Yeah. What I mean lazy, I mean like, the distractions, I'll do it later, procrastinate, Oh, it's too hard. Yeah, reading books is hard. The unknown is hard. Going to space is hard. How are we going to get to space? How do we, explore the world? People used to take, a boat for 3 months, and they didn't know if they were going to make it. Yeah, that's life. Life is not, easy. But look how beautiful. When you arrive, look at this. When you arrive to a place like this, look at that. Look at the result. How would people discover those places if they didn't travel? Yeah, you think when I came here it was easy, I knew what I was doing? No, but I planned it. I took the time, little by little, it was hard at the beginning, sometimes I was stressed. Yes, it's normal. It's not pleasant to not know what the hell you're doing. But you get shit done, little by little, eventually you get better. Like for example, now like I want to invest, I want to do some investments, and I have no idea. Well, I'm going to open a book, I'm going to open a magazine, I'm going to look online. Little by little, 1 day, 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes, whatever, Guess what? After a while, I'll be like, oh my God, this is so easy, bam, 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 boom. I can advise. But if I don't, if I don't research, if I expect people to come to do it for me, good luck with that. Nobody's going to do your life. It's your life. You got to take action, son. I mean, it's really mind blowing. And the amount of people I see, it's really like, not only, I feel like a monk because I'm always like, I'm stuck with the books, the videos, whatever, Thank God the data is there, This technology, thank God, there's so much good content, information. But people, like to, spend the time on the phone, playing around, swiping, whatever they're doing, whatever, laughing. I do too. Hey, I'm not perfect. But, once I get it, I'm like, whoa, slow down. Like, okay, now it's time to do some work. Anyway, let me go to the third part, the most important, of course. Stupidity, stupidity, like I said earlier, doing the same, not thinking for yourself, not like researching, not questioning, because it's hard, to become, like, to go to college or to educate, it takes, you have to open a book, to learn something, you have to, suffer. Nothing can be taught like a language, by magic, Nobody's going to teach you that, without any effort. It's like the gym, a little bit, a little bit every day, a little bit here, a little bit there, boom, It's not complicated. It's just, it's effort, it's work. Yeah, it's not easy. You can't just sit around, like, and expect, like magic, or your parents to save you, or your wife, or whatever, or, God, do a miracle, or Trump, whoever, is in charge of this crazy government. It's not their fault. And guess what, those people in charge is because, stupid people elect stupid, Guess what? You know what I'm saying? It's a connection. It's not like they appear magically. Stupid options for stupid people. It's like Pepsi and Coke, you understand? McDonald's or, how about you buy beans and rice, and cook for a month for the same price like, 1 week in McDonald's for garbage. How about that? Unfortunately, what is easier? What is faster? What is more convenient? What is most, the easy way out, McDonald's, wasting time, going to the bars, happy hour, having a smoke, wasting time on the television, watching the internet, porn, whatever. Very easy, very easy. And it's fun too, yeah. time goes by, makes you forget too that you're not very bright. So the more you drink, the more you're like, well, of course I'm right. Of course you're right. You're drunk, you moron, imbecile, whatever you call it. I mean, it's a combination of all this. Look, it's beautiful. I'm sorry I talk about this stupid subject, but somebody gotta tell what it is. I mean, and that's why the point of this video is not to insult the world. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We're surrounded by stupidity. It's to kind of trying to wake us up because we all go through this every day. It's hard to get up sometimes. Here we go again, Groundhog Day, doing the same things over and over. It takes effort sometimes to be motivated. Especially when everything goes south. Sometimes like I say, when it rain, it pours. So it's understandable. Yeah, it's hard. But it's like you have to. What I do every time I feel like in a hard situation, I feel like I'm like I think of a guy who's at war. Drones attacking, throwing bombs. I'm like, dude, this is nothing. Walking my dog at the beach, with a camera. Like, what's the big deal? I should be like fucking thanking God for this moment. Other people like have nothing to eat, no family, no friends. I mean, I don't know, alone. I mean, we don't think. We don't think because thinking is very hard. Thinking, like I said, it takes energy, it takes research. It's painful, and it's hard to admit how it is. Like look in the mirror and say, what, I suck. I can do. I'm too fat. I'm too stupid. It takes time to admit that. Because first you have to accept there's a problem, but then you got to find a solution, which takes research, right? Which takes time and effort. Then you have to take action. You think people have time for this? What is easier, to do this or take a beer, and a couple of smokes, right? Or a couple of drugs or whatever. Well, now you know why. It is what it is. The easy path, understand? The easy way. But God, Jesus didn't come here to have smokes and party, happy hour, understand? He came here to be crucified, like people, those big prophets or whatever, they came here, with balls, Buddha, he invested time, he left everything, all the money, to think. Not to go happy hour, get ultra drunk, sleep around, like the CEO, now you see this in the news. I mean, son, grow up, mature, be stoic, read about stoicism. Stoic, if you don't understand the word. Yeah, it will help a lot. It make you think like, that, it's not, I mean, it will be every day hard, every day. And you know what? I think it's because maybe people, think that, like we have to be aware that, life is like a river, We're here and tomorrow we're there. Nothing's going to be consistent, Somebody's going to die, somebody's going to break. We have to be accepting reality, We can't just be like dreaming, So once you accept, how it is, then it's easier, to go through, along and move forward. It's not pleasant, but, it's much easier. So people, behave like children, they never leave their house, for example. They take some chances when you're young. Nowadays, especially, people don't talk to people. On the phone, always they stuck. I can't wait for when the VR takes over. I mean, it's over, game over. AI, VR, game over. I'll tell you that. If you think stupid, is the majority now, in the future, it's everybody. It's kind of like, I'm vegan, right? Well, guess what? I don't know the answer. I don't know, if it's the right thing to do or not. But it doesn't make common sense to see that, hurting my animal, killing an animal, it's not pleasant, right? You won't enjoy this. So, and there are options. Look, banana, mangoes, jackfruits. So why kill the animal, right? But, it takes thinking, right? It took me time to think about it, right? I mean, I saw videos. I saw, the slaughters. It takes time to think and, say, am I doing the right thing? Question. I don't know your answer. Maybe, you have a better answer than me, but at the end of the day, you're like 1 + 1 = 2, right? Unless you think, murder is fun. This is a good way to kill something. So that's what I'm saying, thinking, and of course it's lacking, and of course the consequence of that, is all this, troubles in the world, division, anger, hatred, just stupidity, stupidity in 2 words, loss of common sense. And I've been there. I've done my share of stupidity, but eventually I start questioning. I'm like, wait a minute, did I lose my marbles there, or I was a bit chaotic? And I start changing political views. You have the right to change. Yeah, you can change religion. You can change wife, husband. Even parents, you can cut them off, politely. You don't have to be mean, If they're stupid and they don't want to, get better, well, keep it, keep it low. You understand? Sorry, guys, I rant every day, but I mean, and feel free to give me, more feedback. I mean, I have a list here of other things. I've wrote so many things. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah, I mean, the other thing, the victim mentality, like, oh, like you're born poor. Oh, life is hard. Like, no, 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 no. I mean, yes, you're right. It is hard, but read a book, study. Trust me, study in these fields, that make money, or something. I'm sure there's something interesting that you can make money out of it. Maybe sales, maybe marketing. You're good at. Maybe cooking. Get better. It's not hard. It takes time. I mean, it is hard in the process, or become a bodybuilder. There's something, become the best in your field. I don't know, just or good at something. In your neighborhood, so people can hire you, so you can go next level. And research, question every subject, everything, your diet, health. Your workout habits, your brain. Use your brain, read books, research, make money. It's all part of life. Go to question about spiritual. Yeah, that's our job, guys. That's our job. That's why we're here. We have this, talent. Let's use it. All these tools, all these gifts. Let's not fuck around. What are we doing? Wasting time. Like happy hour and all this. I mean, it's okay. Once in a while, I celebrate. Once a week, it's kind of, okay. You can have sometimes enjoy a little bit. Have your smoke. Let's say whatever. But don't go full. You know what I'm saying? People who know me, they know what I mean. People like to go full, and that's why the whole world is full of, what. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here because I repeat myself. But feel free to leave comments and what you think. And unfortunately, hopefully people are gonna wake up. Maybe the AI is gonna help people, but I highly doubt. I think it's game over. And bye from Luna. And feel free to call or whatever. Leave messages and comment if I can help with anything or give you some coaching with my stupid mistakes and how I approach life from now on going forward. And we can all work together, to get better. Anyway, talk to you to the next one. Have a good one. Enjoy the view.